On the Season Writer, we're working on the CB750. Hey, thanks everybody who hits subscribes and follows and hits the likes, and I appreciate all the comments. You guys make it fun. I appreciate it when y'all hit subscribe. Um, I'm going to go on again, indulge me, please, about air filters. I did a bit about this when I was working on the GL1100. I think that was, might have been the clutch. I mean, a choke cable replacement. But during that, we talked about a few things like the air intake area needed to be properly sealed. Had a gasket kind of slip off underneath the air box there. Looking over this off of the CB750 here, and I did already take this apart and look at it, and a couple things that I noticed because I'm so convinced that all these things need to be on so correctly and so tight. Again, I'm not a pod guy. I get that, and that absolutely has its application. That's a lot of tuning to adjust carbs for pods. Um, but on these, the only air intake from the outside air is through these two slits on each side. This is the only air intake for this whole motorcycle, for the whole air induction system. That's it, those two holes. And so here's the bottom coming off. And that's it. It's just that. This little passage right here on both sides. And that is all the air that the engineers want to come inside this air box. And so I actually turned out to be sort of a waste, but I ordered up a gasket for this, and I don't need to put a new gasket on it. I noticed that there was this bend here, and I was wondering if air could get sucked in there. That's why I had it back on there nice and tight to check to see if air could get sucked in there. But this K&N filter is nice. I'm going to go through the kit here to clean, and then I will re-oil it. Looks like I've oiled it before. I don't really remember working on this, but anyway, it's red, and it doesn't appear dirty at all. But what I was looking at is when I first set this down here, see this ridge here, this outline, the filter needs to go over that properly. It can't be sliding back and forth. It needs to be sort of locked on it, and I realized that it sort of had to stretch it on. Oh, did you hear that click in? So there it is. It's there. But I have to do the same thing for the bottom when I put it on. And that's going to be done blind, like so. So hopefully with it being properly snapped onto here, sort of have it held into the carburetors like that, and then put this on. Anyway, I just wanted to talk again about my obsession about oil filters being on properly and tight, because they don't want a lot of air sucking in to these carbs. It's really limited, the ambient air coming in. And so they want this all sealed off correctly. All right, there you have it. Continuing on with the cleaning of the K&N filter. Step 1, power clean. Ooh. Just squirt it down liberally. Soak it down inside and out. Then you let it sit for 10 minutes. And then I will bring it upstairs to the kitchen sink and rinse it out, and then it's got to dry, just naturally air dry. So that's, I don't know how long that might be, a day or two to air dry thoroughly. It's got to be thoroughly dry before you add the oil. So here we are, step one, power clean. I can feel the power. All right, that ought to do it. It's not really dirty. It's been on a couple road trips. One K&N recharger kit, that'll last me for the next 20 years. Okay, it's got to sit for 10 minutes. Ready, go. The reason I do all this type of thing, even though the excitement of this is looming in the immediate future, so as excited as I am to break into the engine, I'm not even taking the valve cover off until all of this little stuff is done. Also, I love doing this. I spend time on stuff like this, and it looks, well, it looks exactly the same. Needs to be cleaned up. Oh wow, he's going to Dremel. That's so weird. I'm very tempted, of course, to just start tearing into this. But then when this is ready to install, would I really have the patience to do all this stuff? Oil before using. And wrapping up the K&N filter cleaning, and these filters are designed to be sprayed down with filter oil. And that was the last thing I needed to do. So I'll dry it off. Stuck it outside for a while. And the directions are inside and out, nice and thoroughly. Ah, looks great. Looks like it is ready to fight another day. Okay, those are screwed down right to the end. Looks like a great seal. You run a bead of grease on the top of the filter, that rubber part, to stop air from slipping between it and the case here. Okay, enough about that. So ends my obsession with factory air cleaners. Thank you for your indulgence.